What is up, guys? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Milan Forum. It is Friday, November 5th, 2021. It is Friday, and in 2 days we have Il Derby della Madonnina, the real derby of Italy. Not that shit they say Inter Juve. That's not the real derby of Italy. That's BS. The real derby of Italy is Il Derby della Madonnina, Milan versus Inter. It is the Milan Forum, so everybody is welcome here. We already have some people waiting, ready to come and say their piece. In the meantime, let me say hello to whoever's here. We got Carlo Moretti. Buonasera. Buonasera, signore. Buonasera. Joel. Forza Milan, Joel. Forza Milan, Joel. Higher or lower on transfer market? What's up, Kangoo? What do you mean by that? Guys, we have Kangoo here, our Manchester United friend. We can't lose first derby with fans back. Impossible. We're not allowed to do that. We cannot do that. We cannot make that happen. We have to win this derby. We got Tick Size. What's up, Tick Size? How are you, sir? So, guys, today what we're going to do, we're going to obviously talk about the derby and all that crap, but we're also going to talk a little bit about the history of this match. And we're going to talk about how the two teams, how Inter actually separated from Milan, and the history of this rivalry. We're going to look at the statistics, and we're going to talk about, the second star. Like, is this second star important to you? Like, that's a question. Is the second star important to you? Do you care that Milan is, who's going to win that second star first? For me, it is extremely important. And the reason why is because whoever wins that second star first, it's something that history cannot correct. Once that shirt has that second star first, it's something that history cannot correct. And I think it's very important for Milan in Italy, and very important for this rivalry against Inter, that Milan wins this second star before Inter does. Inter is literally one step away from it. Inter is one step away from winning that second star, and Milan is two steps away from it. And this year is a good opportunity for AC Milan to actually fight for the Scudetto. I don't know if we're going to win it. We don't know if we're going to win it. That is not important. What is important is that they're going to fight for the Scudetto because they can win it. They have what it takes to win the Scudetto this year. Therefore, it is a great opportunity for Milan to get back into the race for the second star and win it. Let's see. What's up, Paul? How you doing, my man? What's going on? Zlatan will turn up. We'll see if other 10 do. Tuve, there was time when the second star seemed only a matter of time. It's been a long time, right? I think it's so exciting. I cannot wait, guys. One thing I will do for sure is the year we win that second star, I will buy the first shirt, the second shirt, the third shirt, and I'll spend $400 on it. No problem. No problem. This is the most important derby in a long time, Joel says. 19? Yeah, 19 maybe. Let's see. Forza Milan, everyone. No worries. We'll get that second star before Inter. We should have had that second star a long time ago. With the team we had in the 2000s, we should have won way more Scudetti. 100% right, Carlo. 100% correct. No doubt about that. The Derby will forever be an important game, banter or not. For me, it's the biggest Derby in the world, period. And we can all agree on that, 100%. Let me get my first guest in here. We got Nathan in the house. What up, Nathan?
Hey, what's up, bros? What's going on, everybody?
How you doing? How you feeling this eve of the weekend derby?
I'm pretty excited. Unfortunately, I'm going to be working during that time, so maybe I'll just call off sick or something.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Guys, please, if you guys are at school, if you're working, do not call out sick because every time someone does that, it never works out. Scaramanzia.
This is true.
I'm actually going to miss the first 15 minutes of the game. We'll see, but it is what it is. You know, there'll be many, but it is a big derby, huh? What do you think about this derby? Do you think it's going to be a big one?
I think so. Fans should, all the fans are going to be there, so I feel like hopefully everyone will be behind the team despite our problems in the Champions League. But hey, that's the past, and the Derby is the future/present. So you got to get behind the team.
Paul says, "Bad advice, Roy. The Derby is only twice a year. Do what you need to do, Nathan." Piemonte FC.
Hey, you know that's the type of backing that I need right there. I need positivity.
All I'm saying, guys, is this: that last time I took off school for a big AC Milan game, Milan lost. Joel the other day, who is in the audience today, I think he skipped school for Porto, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out, guys. We have another guest, a new guest here, Noor Ahmad. What's up, man?
Khalidi, good.
Khalidi, Noor Ahmad Khalidi.
It is 6:12 in the morning here, Saturday, and I have been a Milan fan since 1990.
Nice.
Yes.
I've been a Milan fan even earlier than that.
Great. So we have I have seen all of Milan Champions League games and all of Milan's Serie A games since then.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
You're in Brisbane, right?
I'm in Brisbane, and usually I have to watch Milan's Serie A games 4:30 in the morning, our time, because it's too early in the morning for us here. But I am like religious, keeping that tradition.
Nice. You know what? There were times when I had to wake up early in the morning to watch games. I don't remember where I was. I can't remember where I was in the world, but there were moments where I had to wake up like at 3. Oh, well, here in the West Coast, sometimes I have to wake up at 3 a.m. To watch a game, West Coast of the USA. I'll do that, no problem. Sometimes I got to wake up at 5, 6 a.m. I mean, it's really, yeah, I understand why you do it. It's almost impossible not to watch Milan if you're a Milan
Oh,
fan.
absolutely, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
what do you think about the derby coming up?
Well, I believe Milan would win 2-1. I believe, or maybe 3-1. So we are, on a roll, and I think that the team is playing well. And my advice to Brahim Diaz is please 3 touches maximum, no 4 touch allowed, and release the ball, please. If he does that, we will be better, in a better position.
Well, listen, from what I've seen, actually, the first predicted lineup I have seen is with Krunic instead of
Well,
Ibrahim.
that makes sense. That makes sense. I agree with the coach.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, because Krunic is keeping it simple. Keeping
True.
it very,
That's a good point. Good
look
point.
at he gave Ibrahimovic the pass that it was
Oh, against
converted
Porto.
to. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
A good pass.
Well, obviously, the way I feel about Brahim Diaz is that he against Porto he didn't look he looked like he's behind when it comes to fitness, because before his issues with the coronavirus, and by the way, he hadn't played in over 3 weeks almost, because the last game he played before Porto was before the international break. So he skipped Verona, he skipped Torino, he skipped Bologna, he skipped Porto the first time, I believe. Yes. And then prior to that, he hadn't played with the national teams either. So he hasn't played a game in a long time. He hasn't played this. The game against Porto was his first game in a long time. I do think that when Diaz is fit, we need his creativity. I really do think that. So let's see. But right now, maybe you're right. Maybe Kunic's more simple way of playing is more beneficial, because if Diaz tries to be creative and he can't, then we're going to lose the midfield.
Yeah, most of the time he loses the ball. Only at 10% of the time, he at his best he could do something with it, but he's keeping the ball too long to his feet.
But you're
Too
talking
long.
about Porto, right? Because before
No, no,
that,
no.
oh, you're
Even
talking
back
in
before
general.
general, Diaz is keeping the ball and keep going. Eventually loses. Only a few times that he was able to pass the ball. So I hope someone has to tell him, just keep it. Don't do that. Don't so many touches. He's a
Right.
small person in stature. He could be pushed off the ball.
Got it. All right. Well, let's see. I have been
he
very
also
happy.
needs.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say in order to, to have penetrating play, you need a person who can dribble. But what's important is, does he have options to release to someone and get it back quickly? And that's the problem, right? Because you can take 1 or 2 touches. You practice these things like in drills and stuff, but this can only be done with the players moving off the ball on the field. So you gotta, it's one of those things where the whole team needs to perform in order for something like that to happen.
Usually, Milan front guard are very mobile. They do move, and I'm actually following it with 4 eyes to see when he's leading to Saelemaekers or to to the left or to the middle, but he never releases the ball.
Well, look, I'm going to be honest. Let me just say this real fast.
Ahead,
I'm going to be
Roy.
honest. I love Diaz. I love the way he plays. I love what he brings to the team, and I think when he's ready, when he gets his match fitness back, he's going to be indispensable. That's my opinion. Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah, because you got to remember, the thing with Diaz is he takes the focus away from guys like Leao, Zlatan, and even Saelemaekers, because he has the ball, and if you just let him dribble, he's gonna cause havoc. When you have Krunic on the field right there, that's one player you simply do not have to worry about, because he's not going to make the penetrating pass. He's not going to look to dribble your opponent. He's always going to look for a safe pass, which is not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, but it doesn't make you worry. And so when you have to worry about 3 and 4 creative players versus 2 creative players or 1 creative player, that difference is big. And that shifts your focus, in multiple directions instead of just one. So I'm fine with Diaz dribbling as long as it frees up space for everyone else. And we saw this free space being created when we had a full, healthy team, or fullish healthy team.
Yeah, man. I love the guy. And I think he's done also well statistically. He scored important goals, get himself an assist. But I do agree with Noor that if he's not fit and his plays are not working, we lose the whole midfield. Because he's it's very important for him to be at his peak. Yeah. So I did see a prediction lineup that had Krunic, which kind of makes sense to me, because Krunic has been playing now, many games? He's played, 4 games? So Krunic has to be really match fit. He has to be very match fit. And we're going to have Ibrahimovic. So Ibrahimovic is going to be he's going to kind of lead the line. He's going to be the creative player, the guy that organizes the technical aspect of the field up front. So if Krunic plays, it's all right. It's not a bad thing. But
is
Diaz,
Rebic at least on the bench?
Rebic is on the bench, yes.
Good. At least we have a player that can come off the field. Even if Diaz doesn't start, we still have Rebic and Diaz coming from the bench. So that's a good thing.
Right. We have Rebic, we have Leao, we have Giroud, we have Ibrahimovic, we have Diaz. Actually, offensively, the only problem is that both Diaz and Rebic are nowhere. Well, Rebic for sure is nowhere near match fit. Rebic is for sure nowhere near match fit right now. Diaz, that game against Porto probably gave him a little bit of match fitness. I also think that these players in Italy kind of have they're more comfortable. They kind of feel more at home, while in Europe, I think they struggle a little bit more.
I don't think we should use the term match fitness. I think we should use the term rhythm instead, because I think these guys are fit. Otherwise, they wouldn't be.
But that is what I mean. It's a synonym to me. Like, I mean,
okay.
You need to get into that. Yeah, into the rhythm. But you have to get accustomed to the tempo, to the feeling of being pushed around, to and the spaces. You have to get accustomed to it again. Yeah, it's a synonym to that rhythm. Getting that rhythm back. Yeah, you don't get it right away. Yeah.
Do we have Kalulu?
Now, from what I'm hearing, is that he's going to be playing on the left and Calabria on the right. But I also saw that Ballo-Touré is available too. He was in a predicted lineup. But I don't know. Basically, Ballo-Touré, ever since he got that knock in against, what was it? Bologna? Was it Bologna? Where he got that killer slide tackle. So what was Soriano just tried to snap his leg off pretty much. He's still feeling that, and that's why he is not 100%, because he's still feeling that. So the predicted lineup I saw was Kalulu on the left, Calabria on the right. Now Kalulu on the left, I don't know, but on the right he looks good. Go ahead. Sorry. And by the way, let me say hi to Saif. What's up, Saif?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Excellent.
By the way, but why making so much noise in the background? Like, because there are so many cars
Just keep it on mute. Keep it on mute.
Okay.
All right, Noor, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that back. Kalulu replacing Theo. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, actually, Kalulu is coming replacing Davide Calabria, but Davide Calabria is going to replace Hernandez. That
Okay,
makes
now,
sense.
right now, that was not the predicted lineup. They might do that. The people I'm hearing are not speaking about that, but I agree with that because I think Calabria is better on the left. Well, actually, it's not that Calabria is better on the left. It's that maybe Kalulu doesn't have enough experience just now to take that left position and make it his own. While on the right, he clearly does, because every time Kalulu has played on the right, he's looked great. Against Juventus, he almost won us that game against Juventus.
Yeah.
Against Porto, he saved Milan's dignity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But I haven't seen that in the predicted lineups. So let's see.
Calabria is both feet. You know, he could kick the ball right and left, but Kalulu is only right. His strongest foot is right leg.
Right. Yeah. Let's get Saif in here. Hey, Saif, what's up, my man? What do you think about this derby? Where's your head at?
Like I said in the last live stream, some people think because we went out of the Champions League, like almost certainly, that our players will not be as motivated. They'll be like mentally weak, which I do not agree with. I know I'm just repeating some words, but we lost a more crucial match against Atletico, and we still won 3-2. Should have been 3-0 against Atalanta. Inter has been good over the last few games. Correa has looked fabulous. I love that player. He's very dangerous. He can make not something out of absolutely nothing. But we are equally as strong, if not even stronger, in the league, at least this year. Theo will be a huge miss, but as long as we don't play Calabria on the left, I think all will be good. I'm quite positive about the game. I'm actually not that nervous. Normally, before a derby, I'd be very nervous. I'd be thinking about it a lot. But, I'm actually quite confident this time. It's just a feeling of mine.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually kind of positive about it too. I just like the Serie A. I just have this feeling that the players in the Serie A are not suffering the pressure.
I just think it's our year, man. I really believe that it's something special about this year in the league for us. It's either us or Napoli, but I think it's in the end it's gonna be us. The start has been too good for us not to do something, you know?
Right. I do want to keep my feet grounded though, because look, I mean, I'm someone that sticks to numbers and sticks to statistics a lot. I think statistics and numbers usually say a story, and the team that concedes the least amount of goals is 95% of the time the team that wins. And right now, Napoli is looking like that team. And that's just the reality of the matter. We're conceding way too many goals. Napoli is not conceding any goals at all. So if we want to win the Scudetto, we have to win it. It's us. It's not. We can't depend on Napoli losing points. We have to beat Napoli and all this. So I do want to keep my feet grounded. But Napoli right now, if you tell me who's going to edge it, I have to say Napoli, because Napoli is not conceding any goals, and that's a stat that I cannot just avoid. But I believe.
Yeah, I would agree. Like they may be the favorites right now, but for example, for us in the month of the African Cup, we will lose Kessie Bennacer. They will lose Osimhen, Zambo Anguissa, Koulibaly. You know,
Right.
and these are players that for sure they will not be able to replace. That's what gives me confidence. We have to capitalize that month.
That is true.
And they haven't had the
really
same
good.
injuries and COVID crisis that we've had as well.
We also had harder games than them.
Yes, that's very true. So, this is why I'm just talking about right now. And this is why I believe, because I want to see what happens. I want to see, eventually Napoli has to face these bigger teams. I mean, what the hell? Like, seriously, like, I don't understand how they haven't faced any bigger teams yet. Eventually they have to face them. They have to face us. the African Cup of Nations is going to be a huge loss for them. I don't know how they're going to come back from that, because we've said it on this channel. That's literally their spine that they're losing. Those are two of the players. The reason why Napoli is not conceding goals is because of those two players, Koulibaly and Anguissa, who are the two defensive strongest players on that team for them. So yeah, I agree with that. What do you guys think about this Scudetto race? Let's go to Nathan first, and then Nor.
I'm not gonna jump ahead of myself because we were in the same position last year. So if we can make some improvements in January, I'll feel a lot better. But we were literally in this exact same situation last year. So I'm excited, but I'm gonna hold my excitement because I don't want a fucking case of deja vu happening to me.
Right, it is true. Even though I got to say, last year, even though we were first and we were winning every game, I did not believe we were going to win the Scudetto. Like, I just didn't see the possibility of that happening. I got to say that this year, I am a little bit. I believe this year. I really believe we can.
But we probably could have won it last year had we made proper investments in January. So,
Yeah, but I'm judging by what we have, not with the ifs and ifs not.
But it's
with
the same team.
Yes, but this year the players have 1 year more experience. And again, it's this year. Look at Tonali's growth. Look at Diaz's growth, Leao's growth, Saelemaekers, Calabria, Tomori, of the midfield. We have Krunic now that is much better. Rebic, Theo Hernandez. We have Mike Magnan. Unfortunately, we don't have him right now. And then I feel like the midfield, we have 5 midfielders that are very solid right now, something we did not have last year.
Correct. Yeah. I believe right now it's a 3-horse race with Inter in it. But if we win the derby, it will definitely become 2-horse race between Milan and the Napoli. However, I think Milan has a better team in terms of excitement and better football quality. So I believe the tide is in Milan's favor. It's for Milan to lose. And if they fix the right flank, a replacement, an alternative, and also bring a replacement for Hakan Çalhanoğlu, which is a big hole there right now, then we will be right.
Who would you see as a replacement for Çalhanoğlu? Who do you see?
I think there is this guy from Bordeaux, from Brest.
Favre.
Which was supposed to be joining, and he was so excited that he missed that game for Brest, and now he's Spanish for Favre. Yeah, if I heard that he's good. And also we have this guy who's from Bordeaux, which is now on loan back to Bordeaux. I think these two guys could
Adli.
Yes, Adli. These two guys could do the job.
Well, listen, let me just say something about Favre, okay?
Yeah.
Favre is playing for like the equivalent of what is, I don't know, Spezia in Italy. How would you? Brest is probably like a very small team, in compared to the top 4.
Yeah.
So he's in a team that is fighting for relegation pretty much, and trying to stay above relegation. So let's look at the players in our campeonato that are doing the same thing, are the number 10s for these teams. So I don't know about Favre yet. I don't know if this guy is the answer. Because one thing is being the number 10 for a top 4 team and showing that you're stacking up the stats. And another thing is being the number 10 for a bottom 15 team and stacking up the stats. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't know him. I'm not going to judge. That's the only information I have about him.
I'll go for Luis Alberto.
Luis Alberto, like, for example, would be more of a you'd be more sure that the guy can produce, faster. Favre maybe would take a little bit more time. I don't know. Do you guys have any opinions about Favre? I honestly haven't seen this player. You guys probably have. So,
I mean,
go
let,
ahead.
let me just say this. Not saying that he's not a talented player. I think he is. I think Yassin Adli is even more talented. He has potential. But I think some Milan fans in the same time have to be also realistic. They're not gonna come into the team and change it and take it to the next step. These are guys that I don't know. You have to have time with them. They're not gonna transform the team this quickly. And
I don't think so. Right.
yeah, and
You're right.
like and even Kamara. Don't get me wrong. Kamara is amazing. He starts a lot from Marseille, but he's not gonna come in and replace Kessié and instantly become the best central defensive midfielder in the league. Like, yeah, we have to have time with some of these players. Like, Milan fans have to be very realistic about some of the signings that we could
Right.
possibly make.
Any opinions, Nor? Any opinions on? You said the right wing. So, what is your opinion on the right wing for Milan right now?
I guess Saelemaekers is good. He's running a lot. He's sometimes he creates chances, but he's not the finisher. I need someone who could finish the job, and he scored some goals. He hasn't scored any goal this year, I believe, if I'm right. But we need someone like Leao on the left, that level on the right, to be dangerous for the opposition team. Not only a good passer or quick passer, which is good, but we need someone who create havoc in the box.
Right. Hey, Nathan, this is your time to shine. Go for it, bro. What is your opinion?
Man, Roy, my time to shine is I'm always shining, Roy. It's always my time. That's what you got to understand. I mean, I agree.
We lost his audio.
We lost him. Nathan hates Saelemaekers. Hates him with a passion.
Can I ask a question? Why people are not talking about Bennacer? He is phenomenal for Milan since he recovered.
Oh yeah, I do not disagree with that at all. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. What do you mean people are not talking about him?
Well, they talk a lot about Tonali. They talk a lot about the Kessié, but they just ignore Bennacer's contribution.
I think the Italian media kind of does, maybe, yeah. But I have not heard anybody say anything negative about him. To be honest.
No negative. I haven't heard, but no positive. Yeah, because he's linking with the attack. He's the only person from the midfield that links with the attack.
Right. He dictates the tempo. He's great. Honestly, I think he's a European level player. Like he's a player that
Bennacer.
Oh, Bennacer. Well, I won't say he's the only one that links the attack because Tonali does that as well. But yeah, I think both Tonali and Bennacer have had great growth so far in Milan.
Right. Yeah. Let's answer some of these questions here. Skillard asks, "What do you guys think of Zlatan rumored extension?" Let's start. I'll go first, and let's keep these short so we can answer as many as we can. I think that if Milan believes that he's capable of doing one more year, I'm all for it. All in. Nathan?
Now I think it's time to move on from Zlatan as a player. Maybe keep him on as like a coach or something, but it's time to move on. He came in to help out with our mentality, and he's done that. So it's time to move on.
All right. What about you, Nor? What do you think?
Well, I like him very much, but however, as Nathan said, unless he takes a pay cut, so that with the number of games he's playing, to be a balance between how many times he plays and how much he gets. Right now he's getting 7 million, And this is why, people like Kessie, Bennacer, Tonali is getting 1.5 million. You could compare that with, and
There's-
also Bennacer is giving 2 million or something. No,
Yeah.
now people are looking at Zlatan. One of the reasons Hakan moved was exactly the same thing, because people are looking around and see how much these guys are getting, 7 million, and he's playing 3-4 games per whole 6 months, and then it is a discouraging. So it should be a balance.
Okay, fair. What about you, Saif? What do you think?
Honestly, I would never say like he should like it's time to move on. It's enough. Even at bro, even if he reaches 50 years old, I would still think that he's still good enough to play. Maybe right now, after this season, he's not gonna be like good enough anymore, or well enough, or healthy enough to be our starting striker. But I would definitely keep him in the team and bring like a younger, you know, striker who's ready to be to have that starting role. Because for sure, next season if Ibrahimovic stays, he would not mind someone that would start in that striker position. So I would keep him on, but not depend way too much on him to be our starter like every game, because that
Alright.
really
Yeah,
hurts us sometimes.
but we know how the coach is, and the coach is not going to play a young striker over Giroud and Zlatan.
Oh,
That's
Well,
I
don't
could
get
be
me
wrong.
wrong.
I
He can prove me wrong, but I just don't see Pioli doing that. I just don't see him doing it.
I
yeah,
mean,
guys. All
he
these
must do
opinions are
that.
fair. All these
Yeah.
opinions are fair. I don't want to get in a debate about it. I just want to hear everybody's opinion about it. I want to kind of go on with some of these questions. Um, Theo's absence is going to be crucial versus Inter. I think yes, because Theo is a very important piece in the puzzle. But he connects the defense to the offense, and I don't think anybody else is nowhere close as good as that in Milan. So I think it is going to be crucial. Yeah, Nathan, what do you think?
Yeah, it will be crucial, but also at the end of the day, we will be a little bit more defensively sound, which is what I
Good point.
prefer first from my wing backs, is for them to be defensively sound first, and then their secondary job is to help the attack. But that's another reason why I think I would actually prefer Balo Torre if he's able to play. Look at this fucking guy, man. Come on. Like, if he's able to play, then, he's the closest we have to Theo. And we've seen Balo. He really has improved over the last few games. So, yeah. I wouldn't mind if Balo played if he's, like, at 100%.
Okay, all right.
I,
Noir,
I
go
will,
ahead.
I will go with Calabria instead right now. Theo Hernandez against Inter, I think he would be liability, because they will target him and he would lose the ball and we will be punished. So this is, I believe, what do you call it in a disguise, a blessing right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It is a good point that you make that when Theo Hernandez is on the pitch, teams kind of play, they adjust their tactics knowing what he does. And sometimes they can figure him out and leaves us big holes in the back. So both of you guys, good points. Saif, what do you think?
Well, I'd be lying if I say that we're not gonna be like losing in this situation. Maybe if like most probably Balotelli will not be available, so we're gonna have to settle for either Kalulu at left back, which would not be a good decision at all. But Calabria, a left back, who also has to take that one extra touch that that may uncomfort him. But it's better than playing Kalulu at left back, so we'll have to do with
Yeah.
Calabria at left back and then hope for the best. But I think it's gonna hurt us.
If
I
that
really
happens,
think it's gonna.
If
Yeah,
And
it's
you know
gonna hurt
what?
us.
I want to bring up another point as well.
Yeah,
If
go
we
ahead.
play Calabria at left back, well, let me just backtrack a little. There's a reason why teams always attack down our left side, because they know Hernandez defensively is weak, and whereas Calabria is like a fucking demigod back there. So of course they're not going to go down the right because they're not going to have much success. So if you put Calabria on the left, they're going to try and go down the right and then they're going to realize that Kalulu is also very good on the right side. So we're going to have two good wing backs on either side, and that might halt Inter's thought process in terms of how to attack the team.
Yeah, good points. Good points. Let's do one more, guys. Who should we get, Ziyech or Mahrez? Guys, I do not know Ziyech very well. I know Mahrez. I think Mahrez is a really good player. I'll say Mahrez. I know this is going to piss off some people, but whatever. Whatever.
Mahrez is faster, but I think Ziyech has more skill.
You know what?
Skillful, but
I don't even know him.
Ziyech is better.
I think
Mahrez is more athletic.
Ziyech at Ajax was phenomenal. I think he is really good.
Okay. What about you, Saif?
Well, I think you know my answer already. But no, really, the thing is, Ziyech is more versatile. He can't he can also play at cam if he wants him to. He can also play as like a left midfielder if you want him to. If you want to change the formation to 4-3-3, he can play as a center midfielder. Also, he's like 2 years younger than Mahrez, or like 1.5 years, so that's an advantage.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Listen, I want to say something about Saelemaekers because we were talking about Saelemaekers earlier, and there's, I understand a lot of people have negative things to say about Saelemaekers. The way I see Saelemaekers is this: I understand that Saelemaekers does not produce finishing product, right?
His primary role, Roy. Just say his primary role cannot be fulfilled.
No. That's the thing. That's the thing where there's definitely a disagreement there. That is not his primary role on this team.
No, that's not his role. But that's his position's primary role.
But that is decided by the coach.
No, that's decided by the player's abilities, not by the coach.
But the coach decides how he wants his team to play, and he decides. He decides what kind of players to put on the field depending on what he wants to do.
You play the team's tactics depending on what your players can and cannot do.
Correct.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
So so you play Saelemaekers to what he can do and what he cannot do.
But there's no written rule that a coach has to stick to.
You're right.
To whatever.
So
in his formation, the function of the Saelemaekers on that wing is this connection between the midfield, the defense, and the offense. So his job is to help close the gaps. Is to actually, defensively. I saw Rohit's piece that you sent the link to, and then I saw Rohit's piece on Twitter. Defensively, guys, check this out. As far as pressing goes, Saelemaekers is top 5 in Europe. Guys, top 5 in Europe, pressing wise. So I accept his role in the team, and I accept how Pioli is using him. And I think as long as the team is winning, as long as the team is achieving its objectives, I'm not going to complain. But that's just my opinion about it. Everybody is free to complain however they want.
Right. When it comes to pressing, you need to have endurance and speed. Anybody with those two, with at least a little bit of those two attributes, can press. So being able to press very well is just down to coaching and down mainly to endurance. So that's not like really too impressive to me.
But he's top 5. He's top 5 in Europe, guys.
Okay,
top 5 in Europe.
You can, if you put Balo Torre up there, he can also be top 5 in Europe because he has.
No. We're talking top 5 amongst thousands and thousands of players.
Right, pressing is not a difficult tactic to adjust to.
No. Pressing.
All it takes is endurance.
No, guys. You see, this is an issue that I have, and I'm going to say it. That there are certain aspects of football that too many people, including you, do not appreciate and take them for granted.
I give you an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will go for this guy who is now bench player for Napoli. He's also
Honest,
of Arab.
honest.
Yes, I
Yeah.
would take him in a
I,
flag.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree
I
with that.
think he will be fit, and he will be alternated with Saelemaekers, and that would make extremely sense.
Oh, okay, but you see, everybody now is minimizing. First of all, Nor, I don't disagree with you at all. I think Anas would be perfect for AC Milan. He does great, but I'm just looking at the things the way they are. The things the way they are is this. These are the players that Pioli has, and Pioli is being brilliant in using his players in the best possible way. By the way, what's up, Pete? And you're saying we're not achieving our objectives. First of all, we did achieve our objective last year, which was to make it in the top 4. And this year, the main objective still is to stay in the top 4. This year, we might even win the Scudetto. Now, you can say, well,
right,
no.
We're not saying his defensive duties are not excellent. No one here is disagreeing with that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're saying that you want to see him produce more offensive plays. But this is not how Pioli is using him.
But Roy, tell me, Roy, can he use Saelemaekers if he wanted to and tell him to do the exact same things as Leao?
No,
why?
But can you ask Leao to do the exact same things as Saelemaekers?
Yes, because defending.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. Leao, you can easily.
Guys, listen. Defense is a skill.
Oh
defense is not that.
You can learn.
It's not, yeah, sure, you can learn, but you also need a certain spirit. You need a certain spirit. You need a certain character. This is something that you're born with. Okay.
But you want to know why the Saelemaekers can't play like Leao? Because he's doesn't have the speed and quickness.
Right.
You can learn technical skills, and you can learn defending.
This is what I don't understand.
He cannot learn.
Nathan, I understand all of this. But what I don't understand is
disagreeing then
because Pioli is not using him that way. Why is that so difficult to understand? Pioli says, "Look, Pioli says I'm not going to use a typical right winger. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place a balancing act, someone that is going to run." That's how he uses him. So then your beef is not with Saelemaekers. Your beef should be with Pioli.
Roy, he can't use him in that way because he's not that type of player.
But he is using him that way, and it's working. If Milan was 6th, 7th, 8th, if Milan was the shit team, I would agree with you. But Milan right now is freaking undefeated in the Serie A. Okay, fine, whatever. We fucked up in the Champions League. This is the first year of many of these players. But as long as it works, I'm not going to complain. If you complain, fine. I don't care. But I'm going to say my opinions as well. But what I do not accept is that you're not understanding how he's being used. He's not
That's
there.
Not true. We understand he's being used as a balancer. We know that.
So your issue should be with Pioli, not Saelemaekers.
No, my issue is actually not even with Pioli. My issue is with the guys who are in charge of signings not understanding that we need a better right winger. Pioli has these Saelemaekers because that's all he has to. That's all he has.
Right.
Plain
exactly.
And simple.
Let's move on.
Berardi even, or a Chiesa, or a Tete,
fine.
Or
and
if these guys would start over Saelemaekers,
and if those players were there, they would be playing. But right now we have Saelemaekers, and so far it's working because we're winning games.
Yes, but you're not.
And I think it's fucked up that a lot of you guys, every time Milan loses, you blame it on Saelemaekers.
Roy, when we lose, it's because we have a lack of creativity around the field,
and you blame it on Saelemaekers.
So whenever we have Diaz, Leao, and Rebic, or Diaz, Leao, and Zlatan, and they're all doing the business, and then you look at the right side, and every time he gets the ball, in a one-on-one situation, one-on-one, not trying to dribble 2 people or 3 people, just a one-on-one situation, and he takes a simple back pass or turns around or can't give a 5-yard fucking pass to Leao over and over again.
This is because you have a beef with it. No, every time. But the thing is that you never appreciate when he does good things. 95% of the time, Saelemaekers is doing great. But you only look at that 5% and you want to shit on him for that 5%. I think this is wrong. It's wrong, and also it's not understanding what his role is in the pitch.
Roy,
That's
Roy,
not true, Roy.
Roy.
That's not true.
Wait, Nathan. I think my problem with Saelemaekers, like I said, I even said like many months ago, we do not need Messi on the right side every game. My problem with him is, although he has good dribbling, he is like he's afraid to take on his man. Every time he faces a player, he either passes backwards or sideways, and a lot of the crosses he makes are bad. Why am I pissed off at this fact? Because you see games like Venezia, you see games like Fiorentina last year, you see some games and you think like, okay, this guy is reliable. He can take on his
Porto.
man. He can provide assists.
Don't leave out Porto.
No, but then you see games like Porto, like last games in the league, and then you start to complain. I don't know if I don't know if that he's tired these last few games. Maybe he needs like two or
But
three.
what
match-
about all the other stuff he does that is good? How come you don't talk about that?
Roy, we say
Because-
he's good defensively, Roy. We say that, man.
No, but not just defensively.
Don't say it.
Tactically, he's good. Tactically, he's good. Defensively, he's good with the pressure. He's all over the field. Like his work rate is incredible.
Yes,
So
right.
why do you guys have to focus on the fact that he doesn't fucking do
Right.
assists when he's not on the
Because you know
field to
what?
do that?
Because you
He's
know
not
what?
on the field to do that. Why is that so
Okay.
hard to
Wait,
understand?
Can't do it.
Okay, because this is only gonna work for a matter of time. When he gets injured, when he gets some fatigue,
okay.
when he can't do that press anymore, what can he actually benefit the team with?
Go to Milanello, show them your fucking resume, and tell him, Pioli, get the fuck out, give me the job, and I'll show you
Oh
how.
my God, this
Bruh,
guy.
It's not Pioli.
Yes, it
Roy,
is.
It's not.
It is
No,
Pioli.
It's not, Roy.
Pioli's the one that
Roy.
decides who puts the people on the field because those are the
Jesus
players that
Christ.
they have. If Pioli wanted, he could say, you know what, I'm going to just force Rebic to play on the right. I'm just going to force Diaz to play on the right. But he's not doing that. He's not
That's a
deciding to
different
do that.
topic. That's a different topic. Okay, I'm not going to go into that because we already know that Pioli doesn't like. Sorry about that.
Anyway, let's move on.
Pioli isn't good
We're gonna move on in a
at
second, but,
doing
you know,
different things like that.
And then, guys, again, he's such a young player. You guys are just going to be eating your words in a few years when he's going to be kicking ass like nobody
Bro,
else.
I wish he can prove
You
me
guys
wrong.
were
I wish I
shitting on
Me too.
Calabria.
I would
You
love
guys
to.
were
Bro,
shitting on Cassini.
listen, Roy,
You guys
Roy,
were shitting on
Roy.
Bennacer. You shut on
listen.
everybody, and now they're winning games. for
Roy, listen to me. It's not about being right. I would happy to be proven wrong. I don't care. I'm a Milan fan at the end of the day, and I want to see players succeed. I'm not gonna be salty. But my issue with him, he doesn't take on players anymore. He offers nothing. Like even last season and the first few games of the season, you can see the stuff he's offering offensively. How he takes on his man, how he does that pass for someone to make the assist. Not these last few games, I'm not seeing anything. I
Okay,
see
but,
many votes of many.
What about the other players? What about the other players? What about the other players?
I agree,
What about
bro.
why is it only Saelemaekers? Why aren't you talking shit
Well,
about
what
the
do you
other
mean?
players too then?
Okay, Roy.
About what other players? About what other
Roy,
players?
All of
Roy,
them.
Roy,
Right,
go ahead
listen,
and say
Because
that
wait.
way.
the fact that you're just blaming Saelemaekers for what Milan is doing right now is asinine. Asinine.
Roy,
Okay, so
Guys,
no,
one more
you-
minute on
listen,
one more minute
listen.
on the subject, then we move on.
Listen. You're taking words out of my mouth, and I also said some players are underperforming, like Theo. You asked a question about Saelemaekers, and we're giving our opinion about him.
Yeah, and
We're
I mean,
telling you that he's not doing enough offensively, even not just numbers, not creating enough offensively like he used to do in the past, which is not great, but he used to do something. Now he's not doing anything regarding
what
that.
are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Like Roy,
What are you talking about?
Roy, he doesn't
And
even
the other
attempt.
problem is this: that you guys, every time he does do an assist and the striker messes it
I'm
up,
sorry, when was the
You
last
play-
time he
you-
had an
you-
assist?
no. And this is the fact. This is the thing that
No,
when he
when
does,
was it?
well, first of all, he had some major assists that
When?
is which is the reason why we are in
When?
first place, because it doesn't matter when.
I
Doesn't
think
matter
he
when.
has like 2
Let me
assists this
finish.
year or some shit.
The other thing is this: that sometimes he does do assists, and then the Giroud misses, Ibrahimovic misses. But you guys don't look at that. You don't blame Giroud.
I'm
You
sorry,
don't
no,
blame
in the
Ibra. You
in the
blame
in the last
Saelemaekers.
no, I'm sorry. Last season, to prove my words, I said because we didn't have a striker, Ibra wasn't playing. He was creating many chances, and we didn't finish. This season, the last few games, I swear to God, I am yet to see him creating a very dangerous chance for our striker. I'm not even kidding.
Well,
The last few
he
games,
did create a great chance against Porto, but Ibra was
one
offside.
one great chance in how many games? That's my point, Roy. That's my
Guys,
point. He needs to offer more.
that's not his role. Don't you understand that is not
Roy,
his
let me ask you this.
Right, but
Last season, Roy, last season, did he offer more offensively when we had no striker?
No, last season his work rate was the reason why we came second. One
No,
of the
he
reasons,
offered more.
one of the reasons, one of the reasons why we achieved our objective last season is because of Saelemaekers' work, and the fact that you guys are shitting on it because he's not making ESPN top 10 highlights is disgusting.
Okay, guys, let's move on. We're not gonna agree
Yeah,
on
let's
this one
move
here.
on, please.
We're not gonna agree on this. We're not gonna agree on this. Let's move on.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. Let's see. Where were we? So we spoke
Question.
about Saelemaekers. We spoke about.
Let's speak about Leao.
Yeah, Leao is doing. I think he's fine. He's also doing great. I like how Leao is developing. You know, his role is to create and to be an offensive danger, and I think that he has been able to achieve that. He is developing that way, and it's just a matter of time until he's going to be able to manage full games and get that maturity. All right, Nathan, what do you think?
I think Leao is doing much better because he has learned how to utilize his speed. We know his endurance isn't the best, but that comes down to knowing when to make your runs and knowing when to do certain things, and that's drastically improved his overall game. Because when you get fatigued, your gameplay goes down.
Okay. What about you, Noor?
I guess, if Leao works on his target shooting, he will be one of the great players in Europe and the world. Right now, he's doing everything right, but the shooting, he's off the mark so many times. So he has to work on his shoot. The whole quality of Cristiano Ronaldo is that when he has the ball and he shoots, he is on target. That is his trademark. So Liao could. This is, I think, simple thing. He could improve on it. He should work on it.
That's a
Okay.
good point. That's a good point. I agree. You got to at least hit the target. You got to at least get the ball on target in order to actually get a goal. So yeah, that's a good point.
Saif, what do you think?
I always said that he can be one of the best wingers in the world. He just needed a bit more seriousness. I think also his work ethic this season has improved massively. You can see him actually trying more, and that's why maybe in the second half you see him not being able to run anymore. Maybe his passes or shooting may be affected. It's because he's doing so much on the wing and he's trying so much for the team, and another certain individual is not helping him. But we moved on from that.
We won't say his name.
Yeah, yeah. No, seriously, I think it's so much work. It's so much work offensively. It's so much work offensively from his side. I think it takes a toll on him. And even in the second half, even when he comes out, you can see him like walking. He's not even being able to breathe, and that's why he's always subbed off at the 60th minute, 70th minute. So yeah, I think he's very talented. He's doing very well. He will have great numbers by the end of the season, and I actually predict that he's going to be crucial for us in the Inter game.
Once Rebic is available, then I think that will happen. He could alternate with Leao.
Right. And he needs to alternate. He can't do it all by himself. Guys, Pete is here. What's up, Pete? How you doing?
Hey guys, we still talking about Saelemaekers, or we moved on?
No.
Are you want to talk about him? You're free to do so.
Say your piece. Say your piece.
I really like his work rate, and those stats are impressive. But we need a secondary option to help us in times when we're being way too predictable. I've said this all season long, that we need a different option on the right, because it makes it way more difficult for us to attack when we're that predictable. And it makes it more difficult for Leao and Diaz to do their thing when we're predictable in attack, and we don't have any threat from the right half the time. That's what I was seeing in that Porto game this week. Along with we were just, for some reason, we're just way too jittery and nervous when playing in Champions League.
All right. Cool. What about Leao? Any words on Leao?
I think he's a phenomenal player. I hope he pans out. He reminds me a lot of Pato when Pato was young, except maybe a little less. Pato had a flair for the dramatic, and Leao hasn't shown that quite yet. But still, time is still young.
Right. So Christian is asking, did you guys talk about international call-up? I'm not seeing any articles here that have call-ups. The Milan website doesn't have it. What do you guys know about the international call-ups? Any things that we should know?
I think it's just embarrassing how Tomori was not called up to the English national team when they picked much worse defenders than him. Seriously.
Good for us.
It's stupid. It's really stupid.
As far as Italy goes, Calabria got called up, Tonali got called up, and Pobega got called up, which is the big news.
Tonali got called up for the senior team?
Yeah, and Pobega.
Nice.
That's good.
That's very good. Calabria, Pobega, Tonali. And where are you getting this? Where can I find the link?
It was an Azzurri Twitter page, like their main Twitter page. Let me pull it up. I can send you a link.
Okay, but I'm not, something that is more Milan specific. If you guys find any links that are Milan specific regarding the call-ups, I'd be very curious to see. So Tomori is not in. Huh? What do you guys think about Tomori? Nathan, you go first. What do you think about the situation with Tomori?
I think it's a load of shit, and that's another reason why I don't rate England. It literally makes no sense. Like just a few weeks ago, all the English supporters were saying how well Tomori is playing, and they need to send their English defenders to Italy. And then you have this nut job as a coach thinking that he's not good enough. So it's crazy.
Okay. Nor, what do you think?
I think if we go back to the derby and a little bit talk about the derby more, especially find out the duels that we expect on the different sides of the pitch, because that's the next big thing for us.
Okay. You don't have any opinions on Tomori not being called up?
Well, good for Milan, so let them not call him.
Yeah, honestly, someone said in the chat that I think is a decent topic to talk about was that Tomori not being called up gives him the signal that being in Italy is not good for him. And that. Did you say that? Nathan?
We said that in the WhatsApp. So a few of us were saying that.
Yeah, talk about that because that's interesting right there. And then we'll keep on going. And
think about it like this. Think of it like this: the England coach is not about to fly to Italy to watch the Derby. He's not going to. When he can just stay in England and watch 99% of the players play, which is very unfortunate. I said also that I was very relieved when Theo got called up for France because that showed Theo that he doesn't need to go play, on PSG or fucking Chelsea or some shit like that in order to get called up. So it was a positive sign. So the coach omitting Tomori is just it sends a negative sign to the player.
Right. You guys want to have any closing opinions on this?
Yeah, sure. It's weird that again it's this Premier League favoritism. He picked some players which some players haven't played for weeks. Another guy, John Stones, who's actually dropped from the Man City starting lineup. He got Harry Maguire, which I know you have to take because he's worth 80 million. He's been absolutely terrible this season, and he conceded 5 against Liverpool. But you don't pick Tomori, who's actually the best English centre back at the moment and probably for many years to come. I just find it weird that he doesn't even have the time, or just to think that Maldini himself picked this guy to be our starting center back, and he still picks guys like Stones and Tyrone Mings, and sometimes even Ben White,
Yeah,
who's playing for Arsenal, for God's sake. Yeah, that's it.
right.
I
mean,
just think
Maldini has to be. His word has to come into play at some point. Maldini said that he's good enough. Like, that's all you need to know. That's all I need to hear from a defender.
But this is
is
also,
Maldini thinks he's
and
good
then I
enough.
want to hear Pete. But this is also something that happens in Italy. This is why I'm not a big fan of Italian players moving out of Italy, because, I mean, a lot of them historically, when they move out, the national team kind of forgets about them. Pete, go ahead. You're about to say something.
I agree with your Maldini comment, Nathan. However, this is, you have to understand, this is a country that believes Rio Ferdinand is better than Paolo Maldini.
Yeah, you're right.
So number two, Rio Ferdinand's fine. He's a good defender, whatever, very athletic, but it's not even close. Number two, I don't really care about England, and I like it when they lose. And I like it when Milan wins. So this is a win-win for me. I'm all about it. If they want to be ignorant enough not to call up one of their best defenders, great.
But I think at the same time it's a loss for us, because like I said in the WhatsApp chat group, surely he's talking to some English defenders. Surely they're telling him all about the Premier League. It's the best league. Surely Mason Mount is telling him, "Yo, Chelsea is the best English team now in terms of potential. You can be our starting center back when Thiago Silva goes." So that really is a scary thought, which I actually predict that he's actually gonna go back to Chelsea in maximum 3 years or 2 years.
I think he might eventually, but I don't think this is a permanent thing. He'll be back called up. If he continues to play the way he has, he was one of the few bright spots in that Porto match. And if he continues to play the way he has, he'll
He's
get called
always
up.
one of the bright spots, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Always is. Okay, let's see. So we spoke about Tomori in that situation, and I know that Ibrahimovic was called up for the national team too. Did you guys read this? I saw it on the Gazzetta dello Sport. Like, what? That one is like, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, the national team, you're just gonna get injured again. You're gonna ruin your whole season. Last word on this, and then let's talk about the Derby. What do you guys think about Ibrahimovic being called up for the national team? Let's start with Noor.
Well, the way he played against on the recent game, against who was that? Roma. I think definitely Sweden's coach would call him. He just need 15 minutes from him, or 20 minutes, that's all. But he will be a threat to anybody on that pitch. So I could understand why he's called up.
No, I understand it too, to be honest with you. I understand it too. What about you, Saif? What do you think?
I think Sweden had, like Noor said, they had to call him up, giving like his form whenever he plays for us. But I think, while I understand he's 40, he wants to play as much football as he can. He also has to understand that we're giving him 7 million. We need him like for as many games as possible. I guarantee you, like, I hope to God it doesn't happen. I pray to God. He's gonna play hard in Sweden. Then he's gonna go back to Milan, play 20 minutes, and then he's gonna get injured. Like, we're giving the guy 7 million. I think we could have like had a say in it to tell him, look, we need you for the season. There are many important games. We don't have a good backup striker. I mean, Giroud is one, but he's old as well. He gets injured. You could be our starting striker for many games, and it's better for us and for you to stay. But I don't know. It's scary that he's going with Sweden. But let's see.
All right. What about you, Pete?
I think he'll play really well. I'm also worried because he's getting into good form. He was even you mentioned that he played really well in the Roma match. He was really good in the few minutes he played against Porto. If he hadn't been called offside on that one goal, for instance. Anyway, he's getting right into good form, and I'm really scared he's going to get injured.
Yeah. What about you, Nathan?
I really hope he doesn't go. I hope he tells them that, let me just continue to heal up, so that way, if he does do a contract extension, he'll at least be ready for the World Cup, which I'm assuming is what his goal is. But yeah, I'm just afraid that he's just going to overwork his body, and he's going to get injured.
Yep.
And real quick, Roy, there's probably going to be a lot of road noise since I'm working right now.
Yeah. Just
whenever you want me to speak. Yeah. Whenever you want me to speak, can you unmute me?
Okay. Okay. No problem. Gotcha.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. All right, guys. We got Basil in the house. What's up, Basil?
Hey guys, I just stopped by to see until what time is the stream. I'm working. I'll be done with work soon.
We'll see. Maybe if Laird joins, we're gonna go. He can take it further. Maybe another hour and a half or something like that.
Okay, all right. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, listen, let's go to the Derby now. Let's talk about this Derby. And before talking about the game, I want to talk a little bit about the history of this game. And I want to also know about some of your opinions here. So basically, I have this article here that is in the background. It's in Italian, so it was the best one I found. And it is... so I'm going to have to translate. But some cool things to know about this Derby is that the first Derby that was ever played was in 1908, which was the year Inter was founded, and Milan won the first Derby 2-1. So that's a cool thing to know. This was 18th of October 1908. Milan won the first Derby. And then also a very interesting thing about this Derby here between Milan and Inter is that amongst all derbies in the world, in 1949, this is the Derby that had the most goals. We're talking about all the derbies. This one here had the one with most goals, and Milan won it 6-5, and it's known as one of the most fought games in this rivalry. Well, probably in the world, maybe. So imagine that 6-5. What a crazy game! That was in 1949. So these are interesting things to know. Total. There have been 199 derbies. This was from last year, so I think now it's a little bit more. 71 wins from Inter, 64 from Milan, and 64 ties. And as far as how many goals have been scored, both teams are around in the 260 mark. So both teams have scored approximately 260 goals, more or less. In Serie A, Milan and Inter have faced each other 170 times. Inter has won 64, and Milan has won 51, and the ties have been 55. And Inter has scored around 240 goals, and Milan has scored around 220-something goals. In the Coppa Italia, Milan and Inter have faced each other 24 times. And in this case, Milan has the most wins with 10 wins, 33 goals. Inter has 7 wins, 22 goals, and 7 ties. But in the Supercoppa, Milan won 2-1. So they faced each other once, I guess. Milan has won 2-1. The Sfide di Champions League, so 4 games in the Champions League. Milan has won twice, and they have tied twice. So Inter has never beaten Milan in Europe. Awesome. And yeah, and the game that has finished the biggest, heaviest defeat was Inter. They lost 6-0 to Milan in 2001 when Milan was being coached by Cesare Maldini. So that was an awesome little thing. So very cool things here to know about this derby. It's going to be a very important derby to me, and this is where I want to ask you guys. The race to the second star. Does this matter to you? Do you think it's important? And then also want to talk about the history of how Inter separated from Milan. So let's move the words on to you guys. Nor, what do you think about this derby? What do you think about the second star? Is winning the second star important to you? Winning it before Inter does?
Well, pundits are giving Inter the edge on this game. I don't know why. Maybe because Inter has lost, invested in this game or expected of this game compared to Milan. Milan could lose, but still would have 4 points gap. But if Inter loses, they will have 10 points gap. So Milan could, lose, but it in the big scheme of the affairs wouldn't be much disaster for Milan. I am actually not sure about that second star. About that, Roy. What that mean? So I'm passing on that. Your audio is gone.
Every time you win 10 Scudettis in Italy, you get a star, and it's like
okay.
a badge. It's like a badge, right? It's like
Great.
a pedigree, privilege badge. Right now, Inter is one away from the second star, and we are 2 away.
Okay.
So this rivalry between the stars is something that I think is discussed about. I just wonder whether you guys think it's important, or it's important to you or not. But knowing that, what do you think about that? Knowing why the stars are there?
Actually, it's important because I could see the number of stars on Juventus. I think now that could make sense, And Milan has one. Yes, I believe it's a good thing, but it's at this stage of the game this year. This is, I think, crucial for Inter, but Milan also, if they win, Milan wins, that would be a 2-horse race to this Scudetto.
Right. And let's hope that happens. Hey, okay, Saif, what do you think about this 2-star thing, this competition between the 2 stars?
Well, I'll just be honest with you, Roy. Not saying that it's not big for some people, it's not important.
No,
But
I want to know what you think. It's not.
Yeah.
Nobody's judging.
Let's just say Inter win the Scudetto.
Yes.
For me, this doesn't mean at all that, like traditionally or just in general, Inter is a bigger club than Milan, because in my opinion, when we talk about the 2 biggest clubs in Italy, you can have a discussion for Juventus, which I'm not against, and you can have a discussion for Milan, which also I'm not against. Okay, it may hurt a little for them getting the star before us, but it doesn't mean that they're now a bigger club than Milan in terms of titles and prestige. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's my whole opinion.
Well, it would be a fact that Inter would be recognized as the second team in the Serie A to win a second star. So they do get something there. But the way and again, I'm not judging your opinion on it, but I do want to clarify something. Inter is one of the big teams in Italy, and to not put Inter in there would be unfair.
Because
Inter is 19 Scudettis, so the second team with the most Scudettis. And as far as European Cups, Inter has 3 Champions Leagues, while Juve only has 2. But Inter also has 3 Europa Leagues or whatever, UEFA Leagues. So they do have European pedigree. So to say that Inter is not one of the big Italian teams, I don't think that is fair to say. But
no, I'm not saying that they're a massive club. They're one of the biggest in Europe. But I mean, if we're talking about Italy, you can just feel it. You know it. It's Milan and Juventus. Then it's Inter. Inter is up there, but it's not quite Milan or Juventus. I think that's how most people would feel. Also, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Pete, what do you think about this rivalry? The 2-star rivalry?
The 2-star thing matters to me in that it'll really piss off all the Inter supporters, because I get the feeling, correct me if I'm wrong, Roy, because you're Italian.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that Inter supporters worldwide care more about the Scudetto than Milan does, where we prioritize Champions League over domestic championships a little bit more.
Traditionally, yes.
Yeah, and it's the same with Juventus, right? And so it would really rub them the wrong way if we got there first.
Yes.
I hope we do. So that would be great. Also, it would be an awesome honor to see a second star above our badge.
Right,
so.
right. Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait for that. That would be amazing. All right, very cool. What about you, Nathan? What do you think? Hold on, let me unmute Nathan. Oh, it's not making me unmute. I think he has to do it himself. Nathan, I can't. It's not letting me unmute you, so you have to. Oh, there you go. He's gone. Okay. So one thing interesting about Milan and Inter is how these two clubs started. So Milan, the club was first Milan. And then in 1908, there were 44 directors in the club that had this, those political differences, pretty much. At that time, Milan wanted to be a club with primarily Italian players, and they had this agreement with the FIGC that's the way they're going to be. And Inter wanted to introduce international players, foreign players. So there was this clash of ideas at that time. So then these 44 people that worked in the club started Inter, and that's why it's called Inter, Internazionale, Milan Internazionale, because of that purpose right there, because of that reason right there. And then the rivalry became huge right away, because the next year in 1909, Inter won its first Scudetto. Inter won its first Scudetto, its second year of existence, and right away the rivalry was huge. So very interesting things.
Hey, Roy.
Yeah,
I mentioned this a while back on this podcast, but ironically, AC Milan first Milan club to introduce an international player. Ironically enough.
Say what?
AC Milan was the first between Inter and Milan to introduce a international player.
Oh, okay. There you go. I didn't even know that. Was it the Swedish guys?
He was a Swiss guy. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Nice. All right. So let's talk about the formation that's on the pitch. So we have this is a predicted lineup from Sky. Tatrusano, Calabria, Tomori, Chiari, Balotelli. So Balotelli is on the field, according to Sky. Kessi, Tonali, Saelemaekers, Krunic, Leao, Ibrahimovic. And then I even have the formation of Inter, which and then we can talk about, the rivalries that we're going to see on the field. Any opinions on this formation, Noor?
I would replace Tonali with Bennacer, and I would replace Balotelli with David Calabria and move Kalulu on the right side.
Okay, so you're not happy with this formation. You don't think this formation is good?
Could be improved. What I mean.
You don't think Tonali is worthy of a starting spot against Inter?
Well, you comparing two people like Bennacer and Tonali. Bennacer comes with a lot of experience. So against Inter, we need a lot of experience. And he's on the other side. He is quicker in transition from defense to attack. So he could spot people much quicker than Tonali, I believe.
Okay, all right. What about you, Saif? What do you think?
I think it's the best for me. Like, it's the best possible formation. I am with Kessie starting. He brings more physicality. He intercepts passes when he is on his day. But I see Krunic there. Like, is Diaz injured or what?
No, I think it's because just of match fitness.
I think you still start Diaz, man. I don't think Krunic is gonna cut it in the derby. Like, in the derby, you start your best 11.
Yeah. This is a probable formation from Sky. So honestly, this is just what's come out. It's not, the game is still in 2 days, So
And
yeah, we don't know yet.
and you know what? I'm happy about Balotore being there. I know some people shit on him, and he's not Roberto Carlos, but I think he can get the job done versus Inter.
Okay, so
It's
I see Balotelli gets a little bit of peace, but Saelemaekers doesn't. I see. Okay,
I mean, it's much better than putting Kalulu at left back or
all right.
putting
Yeah,
Calabria at left back. They will not be comfortable there. You need that extra touch always. And Inter have fast players. It can hurt them.
right. No, I agree with you, man. Guys, by the way, I want to say hi to Red John. What's up, Red John? How you doing?
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good, good, good. So we're discussing Inter, and Pete, you're next, and then we'll finish with Red John. What do you think about this formation?
I think there's always a risk when we play Krunic that we end up playing a little too defensively, and this isn't the match where we want to do that. But it's just because Krunic doesn't play as well between the lines as Diaz does. But I'm encouraged that Ibrahimovic is in there because he takes up some of that slack. I'm not sad about Balotore either, just because I prefer players playing in their natural position. And I'd rather have Calabria stay on that right side, just because of how valuable he is there. I don't know. I'm a little worried about it. If Diaz can come in later in the match, maybe I'm a little happier with that. But I'm a little worried. The injury woes are really getting to us. The news today, though, is that Rebic trained with the squad today, and he'll be ready. And he's always ready to go during the Derby.
Nice. I like that. Red John,
Yes.
tell us how Milan is going to be shit in the Derby.
So, first of all, I don't see Krunic starting because, I mean, if we are gonna win versus a team that is a good team, we need quality. So I hope Diaz is the one starting and not Krunic, first of all, and then I hope Rebic is fit enough because he started training with the group today. So I hope he's fit enough to play like 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 30 minutes probably, because I think we're gonna have a hard time scoring with Ibra or Giroud as strikers because different from other years. Inter plays with a high line right now, so we're gonna need pace more than a tall guy waiting in the middle of their 16-yard box. So this is the way I see it, and I also find it really hard for us to win this game.
Really?
We have lost games when we were dominating Europe. We have lost games versus Inter, and I think in the last 10 years they have won like what 70% of the matches versus us. So it's like, I don't know.
Mm. Okay, so you're not very confident, huh? You're very negative, as always. No offense.
I'm not negative, but I don't overvalue the team. The team is doing great. It's a good team, but it's not Liverpool. It's not a team that guarantees you to win. It's a team that you hope wins, and sometimes wins. A lot of times in Europe, not that much. A lot of times in Serie A, not that much in Europe.
Okay. Well, look. I now let's just have an open discussion here. Like, I feel like the team is going to kick ass. Like, I don't know. I feel like the team this year is really hungry for the Scudetto, and I feel like they're going to be. They're not going to forgive. They're going to go on that pitch. It's a home game, so it's going to be. Well, I mean, obviously, at Milan it doesn't even make that much difference, but they are going to have more fans. The atmosphere is going to be electric. It's going to be one of those games that the players don't need to be motivated. They're already motivated.
Sure, yeah, but that I agree with. The problem is you can be motivated, but you also need the quality because Inter is going to be motivated as well. Actually, Inter has more reasons to be more motivated than us. Because if Inter loses this game, they are out of the race. They are 10 points behind, and 10 points behind
this I don't know. Like I don't know if I completely agree with that because this is still so long.
Sure,
It's
sure.
still so long.
10 points behind is
We're not even a third of the way through the season, Reggio.
Yeah, but a third of the way into the season tells you more or less it's a you can make a justified or intellectual prediction about which team is gonna do better throughout the season. Like you can drop 1 point, or you can drop one position, but it's not like you're gonna totally fail. And being 10 points ahead means Milan has to lose 4 games for Inter to be in front of Milan, and Inter to win every single game until the end of the season. So it's not 10 points; it breaks Inter. 10 points means you as a player start seeing the Scudetto far away. Therefore, you are not motivated when you play versus Salernitana or whatever. You, you don't make that run in the 90th minute, which can rule the game. This is how I think it.
Okay. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree with
Well-
Red John or?
Then why we have this pessimism? There must be a reason that Milan is 7 points ahead of Inter. So I don't see a lot of I don't accept a lot of pessimism in terms of Milan's ability to win this game.
Well, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So I think Milan is a competitive team, and they must be doing something right that they are 7 points ahead of Inter. And I with two main players of Inter lost during the transfer window, I think they are not as good as last year's Inter. So we have a chance here.
And I agree 100% with you in the sense that if last year you needed a miracle in order to beat Inter for two
Correct.
reasons. One, Conte is a great coach, one of the best in the world. Second of all, because they had quality players like Hakimi and Lukaku played an important role at Inter, and they were the signification of speed and quality at the same time. They don't have these players anymore, so we got a chance. That being said, due to the fact that we did so poor in Europe, leads me to believe that in high pressure situations or when the level is a little bit higher than the standard, you crumble. And I hope I'm wrong, but I find it hard for us. If we win, I'm going to be the happiest man on earth. Don't get me wrong. But I don't see us winning. I see us scraping a draw.
I think I hear you, but I think we've shown this year that for some reason our Scudetto form, our Serie A form, and our Champions League form are we're two different teams in those competitions. And we've done well against strong opponents this year, even after Champions League matches. And it's the Derby, so anything can happen, obviously. I'm trying to purge the Porto match out of my mind, because if I get polluted by that too much, I'll ignore the fact that we dominated Roma for 60 minutes last Sunday.
Sorry to interrupt you. This is exactly the problem that I have. The problem is that we win versus Roma, and then we do a dubious performance versus Juventus. We win versus Roma, but Roma is the same team that almost got shit on again yesterday by Bodo Glimt. Like, this is the problem. Roma is a good team, but it's not that good of a team. Inter, it's the same level as Porto in my mind, if not better than Porto. Actually, better than Porto. And we shot the bet versus Porto. So I don't know, man. I hope I'm wrong.
My idea of the Porto game is that I think Porto was a million times more motivated than us, and I think the Milan right now, they kind of know, the players know that going through is so difficult, so impossible. While Porto actually, they know they have a chance to go through, so they're just going to be way more motivated than us.
I disagree with this. I disagree.
No,
with this
but
one.
that's psychology that you can't escape. You can't escape it.
Actually, if there was psychology, it was on our side. We had one job: win the game or you are out.
No, but you say it so easily, win the game and we're out. Porto wants to go through. Porto wants to go
Yeah,
through.
yeah, but so what?
If we win that game, we're not even going through, so it doesn't even matter.
No. If Porto wins that game, they are not through. They are not through.
But they have a real chance. They have a real chance.
No. They are in the same exact situation as us.
If they win the game.
If they win the game, they have a chance to go through. If we had won the game, we had a chance to go through. It's the same exact
No,
thing.
we didn't.
So
We didn't have
this is like you. I don't know why you're saying we didn't have a chance. Like,
only 2 teams in the history of the
It
sport.
does not matter, man.
No, it matters. Numbers matter. Statistics matter.
No.
Only 2 teams out of hundreds of teams have been able to go through after losing the first 3 games.
One of these teams
were
was
out.
listen. If Atalanta, because one of these teams was Atalanta.
Yeah, Atalanta, right.
If Atalanta would have
And
been
Porto
with
was
this,
Babylon.
if Atalanta would have listened to you, they wouldn't have made it through. But thank God they didn't listen to you. And if Milan listened to you, then
Red John,
they
do you
are
think
wrong
do you
for listening
think
to-
that every
this
single do you think that listen to me, do you think that now every team that has lost their first 3 games have gone to their 4th game and not tried to win it?
No, again,
Of
the
course,
way- no,
but you
no,
have
no,
opponents,
no,
my man.
no,
You
no,
have
no, no.
opponents.
You-
Opponents. If
you
your
are wrong. Listen,
if your opponent is more
Oh my God,
motivated than
please,
you,
just
no. Let me finish.
Let me speak
If
this-
if your opponent is more motivated than you and they prepared the game better than you and they believe
It's a
more,
flawed logic, man. What you're saying makes no
true.
sense.
Because
Makes no sense.
then we should win every game every time.
No, it's very, very simple. Just look at the groups. All of the groups have 2 super favorite teams. All of the groups,
Right.
from A to the last group, 2 favorite teams. Meaning, at the third day, there are 2 teams which at least have 7 points. 7 points or 1-9 and 1-6. So you are out. In this group, no, because there are 4 strong teams, and there's Liverpool dominating, and then the other ones are within our reach. If we win 1 game, we are 1 point away from Porto. You make it seem as if we are done. No, we are 1 point
No,
away.
Atletico Madrid,
from
Liverpool
Porto.
are going to go through, my man.
No.
They're going to go through.
No, not
You can
Atletico.
believe in fairy tales all you want.
Roy,
Again, it's very simple. If we had won the game versus Porto, we would have been 1 point away from Porto and 1 point away from Atletico Madrid. So I don't know what the hell you are saying by saying, "Oh, we are not motivated." Of course, you are motivated. You are 1 point away from the team.
But Porto's
who's
more
in front of
motivated. You don't think Porto's more motivated than you? Guys, by the way,
Roy, Porto has more chance than Atletico Madrid because Atletico lost twice against Liverpool. So it's now Porto. The ball is in Porto's court for the second place.
yeah. So what are you saying?
I'm saying if Porto and the next game, Porto and Atletico draw, so Porto has more chance to go through.
But next game is Porto versus Liverpool, and they are going to lose the game.
Guys, let me just say this quickly. Can we accept the fact this is our first game after
Okay.
8 years? And
I have to reset the stream, guys. 1 second.
yeah,